The day has arrived. Spider-Man No Way Home has finally hit theaters, and we are here to talk about it. Before we get started, make sure you jump down below, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel so we can keep growing out towards 200 subscribers. And do not worry if you have not seen Spider-Man yet, because we are not going to spoil things in this review. We're just talking about the film, the performances, stuff you've seen in trailers. We're not going to be diving into any big spoilers that you may not want to hear about, so do not worry about that. Now, let's dive right into the review. Of course, John Watts is returning to direct this one, who directed Homecoming, Far From Home, and up next we'll jump into the Fantastic Four part of the MCU. And of course, Tom Holland is back, Zendaya returns, and their chemistry together is off the friggin' charts. My favorite chemistry in any Spider-Man movie has always been Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. They are just incredible together, but Tom Holland and Zendaya are getting damn close. The closer they get in these films, their chemistry is just freaking insane, and I truly believe that the two of them have their best performances inside of the Spider-Man films in this film. Tom Holland's performance in this film honestly might be his best performance that I've personally seen overall in any project that he's done. He is doing some incredible work, not only doing the Spider-Man, the quips, and the action, but the emotional resonance that you can see from him on screen is off the freaking chain. Joining them is Jacob Batalon, coming back as Ned, who he gets to do about what he gets to do in all the films. He's the guy in the chair. He gets a little bit extra to do in this one, which is cool to see, and it also ties into Doctor Strange, who of course returns to the MCU in this one. Benedict Cumberbatch coming in. You get to see a little bit of Wong, but Wong's mostly kind of like in Infinity War. You see him, you're like, oh, Wong, and then he dips out, maybe to go do what he's doing in Shang-Chi. I don't want to say what happens, but some cool stuff happens with Wong in his very brief amount of screen time. Of course, you also see Alfred Molina come back. You've seen that in the trailers as Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2. Willem Dafoe comes back as the Green Goblin from the original Spider-Man. Jamie Foxx comes back into it as Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2. And also in the trailers, you get to see Sandman and Lizard as well. And Alfred Molina is fantastic. I think people forget just how good he is as an actor, and he crushes it in this film. He's a bad guy at times. He's a friend at times. It's just like Doc Ock in the comic books. It's just, you never know where Doc Ock's loyalties really lie. It just kind of, whatever suits him best is what he does. And of course, Willem Dafoe. I think Willem Dafoe really staked his claim to one of, if not the best Marvel villain, because he's just so freaking good. Every moment he's on screen, whether he's like full maniac Green Goblin or more subdued Norman Osborn, it's just fan-freaking-tastic, and he definitely gets more screen time in this movie than you would think. I thought maybe he'd show up and like announce himself and then probably be part of the end battle, but he has a lot to do in this movie, and it was really cool to see him kind of be able to chew up the scenery alongside Tom Holland. Marissa Tomei, of course, comes back as Aunt May, and she also, similar to Tom Holland and Zendaya, probably does her best work of the entire MCU in this film. She has some great stuff to do in this film and just crushes everything she's given. Jamie Foxx, I was kind of concerned about him because I did not like him in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I was also concerned, like, why does he look like cool now, he's got the fixed hair, and they actually acknowledge that in the movie, and he's still kind of a bumbling doofus at times. When he's not like full supervillained up, he's still kind of a bumbling nerd at certain points. One minor disappointment for me was the Lizard and Sandman. It just kind of felt like Sandman was just kind of there hanging out for the most part. Like, he doesn't get a lot to do. In the Lizard, at times he felt like the cool villain from Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then at other times he just kind of felt like a mindless CGI creature that was there just to be another thorn in Spider-Man's side. But other than that, I enjoy pretty much everything about this movie. It gives you lots of great fan service moments, but in a good way. Sometimes fan service is like, it's kind of like a little too obvious, a little too on the nose. This, it provides you with some great moments, some great stuff for characters, some tragic things happen in this movie, and it ends in a very interesting place to where it makes me very curious to see where the future of Spider-Man inside the MCU goes from here, because I know we're going to get more Spider-Man movies. I'm just curious how it's going to work, who's going to return, who's not going to return, what's going to happen with Peter, what's going to happen with other characters inside this franchise. In the post-credit scenes, we're not going to say what happens, but they also set up some very interesting things. The second one for the MCU overall, the first one more for Spider-Man in general in the Spider-Man universe. So this film gives you pretty much everything you wanted from this film. I can't say enough good things about it. I don't know if it's my favorite Spider-Man film. It just might be, but we're going to think about it a little more, and we're going to have a ranking video here in a few days of all the Spider-Man films we've talked about here on the channel, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But Spider-Man No Way Home is definitely must see, and it's getting a 9 out of 10 for me here on the channel. Just not quite perfect, because I didn't love Lizard and Sandman. They just didn't really work for me in this film. They just didn't fit. I think other villains might have fit that role just a little better. But let me know what you guys thought of Spider-Man No Way Home. If you do want to talk spoilers down in the comments, just put spoilers on it so other people that are reading the comments that haven't seen it don't get the film ruined for them. So let's chat about everything Spider-Man down there in the comments below. Make sure you like this video and share this video on all your different social media platforms so we can keep growing out towards 200 subscribers. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys right here next time.